Chronic spontaneous urticaria, or chronic hives with no known cause. It's so unpredictable. It's like playing pinball. Itchy, red bumps start on my arm, then my back. Sometimes my legs. Hives come out of nowhere. And it comes and goes. But I just found out about a treatment option at treatmyhives.com. Take that, chronic hives. Learn more at treatmyhives.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary listeners, heroes and heroines, crooks and crookions, Jimmy Buffett, the audio performance you are about to enjoy discusses casinos and gambling. We do not recommend gambling with money you cannot afford to lose or that is needed to pay bills. If you have a gambling problem, contact your problem gambling hotline. If you do not know how to contact your problem gambling hotline, send an email to help@casinocombat.com. We will find that number for you and provide it to you. Our host's past performances are not indicative of anyone's future performance, including his own. All materials presented here are based on actual facts. Names and dates are changed to protect the innocent and the guilty. Some events unrelated to outcomes may be omitted in the interest of brevity and clarity. The contents of this episode are the property of Volcanic Dingo LLC. All rights reserved.
It's me, it's TRG, the Ramblin Gambler, just trying to make a living and doing the best I can. Welcome to episode 174 of our Casino Combat Podcast.
Lyrics, dude. Recite him some lyrics.
Jimmy Buffett lyrics, way too easy. way too easy, guys. It's time to see the world. It's time to kiss a girl. It's time to cross the wild meridian. Grab your bag and take a chance. Time to learn a Cajun dance. Kids, you're gonna see the morning sun on the Pascagoula run. I have no idea. I have zero idea what the Pascagoula run is, nor am I exactly sure what the wild meridian is, but I am pretty sure we crossed it. As a squad, we had a wonderful time seeing a bit of the world together. Pretty sure that Raymundo and Tina Taco did a Cajun dance when their song came on right before dinner one night. Last episode, we had a squad debrief, episode 173. We talked a bit about everybody's experiences on the cruise. I'll talk a bit more about the cruise this episode. I have some cruise insight for you, but I got a lot of other things on the battle plan for this episode as well. A lot of learning things. If you're just sitting out there, if you've been listening for a while and you're thinking, blah, 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 yeah, they went on a cruise. We did go on a cruise, and it was a lot of fun. And there's some things that you need to hear in that regard. But most of this is going to be learning in other kinds of ways, either stuff that was reinforced on the cruise or some wonderful new ideas that some members of the squad have had. But before we get to all that, before we get to the battle plan, if this is your next time hanging out with me, thank you very much, as always, for the gift of your time. If this is your first time, if you did a search or you saw a tile on your device and decided to give this a try, thank you very much for the gift of your time. Thank you for trying this out. Stick around just a minute. Listen for the pitch. Allow me to introduce myself. I am TRG. I'm not going to say a man of wealth and taste. I am TRG. At least that's what some very special people call me. I am unapologetically a professional gambler. I make a portion of my income gambling. I work as a casino host. I work as an IT consultant. And I do this podcast as my way of giving back, of sharing what I've learned about beating the game of casino gambling with anyone who would like to learn what I consider to be a very useful skill. Let me use the cruise we were just on to illustrate what beating the game of casino gambling looks like. If you're sitting there going, beating the game of casino gambling, what is that about? Well, let me tell you. Let me show you what that looks like. On our cruise, members of our squad occupied 7 comped balcony cabins. We ate for free. We drank for free. We attended free shows. We attended a complimentary welcome party where door prizes were given out. We played in a private blackjack tournament where the top 7 players received large amounts of free slot play. My lovely wife, Mrs. TRG, the radiant goddess of casino combat, is still glowing from winning the blackjack tournament and the prize involved. But more importantly than all of that, we all had a great time together, and we did that because of the comps we were given before we even got on the ship. And as we're leaving the ship, the casino provides a report to me as the casino host, or me and Michael, my boss, as the casino hosts. And they gave us a report of everyone's results. And I looked through it and I totaled everything up. 6 of the 7 cabins that had my guests in them, 6 of the 7 cabins that our squad occupied, had a cash profit from their gambling according to the casino's own records at the end of the trip. The 7th cabin did, in fact, according to the ship's records, have a small loss. That loss was roughly equal to 20% of the retail value of their cabin. So even for them, it was as if they received a 7-night cruise and all the things that went with that cruise at an 80% discount. That's not a bad value at all. That's a win. As a squad, we easily beat the casino doing the things that have been taught here. And as often happens, I got an email from the cruise line today. They want to thank me for sailing with them. They want me to come back. They have a cabin for me and free slot play if I would like to come back anytime in the next year, anywhere in the world that they sail on any ship. In another of those winning cabins, of those 7 winning cabins, in another of those were our friends Professor Porsche and Lady Mac. They do not consider themselves to be gamblers. Prior to the cruise, they had never played blackjack before. We had taught them some craps, we had taught them some slots. They had played enough on a previous cruise that we helped them enjoy that they were able to receive a comp on this cruise. Over the course of the week, we taught them how to play blackjack the casino combat way. By the last night, they had a profit and a plan. They were going to play a couple sessions, and they knew no matter how those sessions went, they would leave the ship with a profit. And that's exactly what they did. The point is, if you are new, if this is your first time, if you got this far, and you think, hey, I'd like to be able to travel the world on my abilities as a gambler, stick around. When you finish this episode, check out the website. It's casinocombat.com. Combat is spelled with a K. And when you get to the website, go to the Fred section and download the flowcharts for TRG2, Always Be Grindin', and TRG4, Win More, Keep More. Go to the Casino Combat channel on YouTube and listen to the boot camp, camp with a K, but listen to the boot camp playlist to learn the core concepts of casino combat. Those are short, quick, 10 to 15 minute audio lessons that will teach you the basics, the fundamentals of solid gambling. Listen to episodes 62, 63, and 64 to learn the basics of how we wager. Check out TRACK, T-R-A-C-K, Tactical Results Analysis Creation Kit on our Spotify video channel and learn how to build a free software tool for tracking your casino results. And I know that's a lot. And I know if you're serious about this, you're going to have to back up, pause, grab a pen, and write it down. It's worth doing if you're interested in doing this. That is a starting point to being the type of player that can go in, win, and be invited back to win more of their money again and do it on a consistent basis. And I know it is one thing for one person, one voice, one individual to say, I went on a cruise ship and won some money. It's another thing, in my never so humble opinion, for a group of people to go on a cruise and all use the same techniques and get the same results, and along the way prove that they can teach beginners how to play and win as well. If this is your first time in listening, I will unabashedly say no one in the history of gambling has ever made the offer that this group just made to you when you pressed play. Here is our offer. Come join us. Come be a member of our squad. Join the Facebook group, the Casino Combat Squad. Follow me at Gambler Ramblin' on Instagram. We will teach you how to be a winning gambler, and all we ask for in return is your time, your effort, and your friendship. That's a small price that we are asking for what we are offering. Normally, gamblers are not out there aggressively saying, here, we will teach you. Yeah, you know the right guy, you know the right gal, maybe they'll teach you a little something. We're literally saying to the world, we know how to do it, we've proven we can do it, we are testing new ideas for doing it every single day, and you are invited to come be part of what we're doing and learn from us. A wonderful offer we have just made you for the low, low price of listening this far. For the 10 minutes of your time that we just took, you have received that very generous offer. You absolutely have. All right, every episode I put together a little something I call the battle plan. The segments we're going to enjoy during this episode. Here in episode 174, we're going to start with a moment of casino wisdom and take a look back of one of the most important casino wisdoms and how I ended up teaching it to Professor Porsche and teaching him to apply it during the cruise. Then we're going to have a moment of concept segment. Excelsior Brigade member Lucky Drunk is going to share with you the results of some research he just completed on an idea of his for replacing TRG-3, the Meta Martingale. Then I'll be back, I'll do a travel segment and share our results from the cruise, as well as my impressions of the ship and our time cruising as a squad. Finally, we will adjourn to the virtual VIP lounge for some sips and some audio taken from the cruise ship, from a lounge there as part of the welcome party. Kind of let you listen in on what that event sounded like just a little bit, and maybe a surprise or two there as well. Okay, think that's our battle plan. I think we're all set. Let's go share a moment of casino wisdom.
Hi, I'm here to pick up my son Milo. There's no Milo here.
Who picked up my son from school?
Streaming only on Peacock.
I'm gonna need the name of everyone that could have a connection.
You don't understand. It was just the 5 of us.
So this was all planned.
What are you gonna do?
I will do whatever it takes to get my son back.
I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
All Her Fault, a new series streaming now only on Peacock. With new, gentler scented Clorox disinfecting wipes, clean finally smells as good as it feels. On everything from lamps to ceiling fans, even on your kid's toy shark. Oh, ouch. Clorox disinfecting wipes, now available in crisp lemon. Find it on Amazon. Clorox, clean feels good.
For those of you who are unfamiliar, casino wisdoms combine knowledge or information about casinos, gamblers, and gambling with an action to be taken in certain situations. Perhaps one of the simplest and yet the most important of our casino wisdoms is casino wisdom number 60. Have a win stack. That's clearly an action of some type, and I will tell you that the point where it should be applied is when you are playing a table game. Simple action. Have a win stack. But what's the knowledge or information behind the action, and how is the action applied? There are actually a couple of pieces of information that inform this wisdom. The first, casino chips are a tool that the casino allows you to have on a gaming table. I can't have my phone on the table. In a few games I could have a pen and paper. A few games would let me do that. I can't have a calculator on the table. I can't have other things on the table, devices, materials, that kind of stuff. If I have a basic strategy chart for a game, I'm allowed to consult that, but most of the time I'll be asked not to place it on the table in most casinos. But chips are just part of playing the game. They're allowed on the table and you can arrange them any way you wish. So they can be used as a tool as part of your gameplay if you want them to be. And most people have never had that thought. They've never considered the idea that here are tools that I can use on the table to map out how I want to play. Another piece of information that led to the creation of this wisdom is that most players don't have that thought, as I said. Many don't think about the chips at all until they're mostly gone. Sit and watch blackjack being played. Many players will have a big stack of random chips, different colors mixed together, no rhyme or reason. Some players are a bit more organized. Chips are separated by colors perhaps, or grouped in similar amounts. But what did they start with? What have they won or lost? If they have a betting plan, where are they in the plan? For me, Casino Wisdom number 60, have a win stack, reminds me my chips are a tool. In almost all cases, I want 2 or more stacks of chips. At minimum, I want a play stack, the chips I started with, and a win stack, the chips I have won so far. If I win a hand and my play stack is greater than what I started with, the extra chips are added to the win stack. If I win and my play stack is less than what I started with, the chips I just won are added to the play stack to rebuild it until it is complete. At the end of most shoes, I will look at the 2 stacks of chips to determine if I have a profit for the shoe. And if I do, I will pocket the extra chips and record the profit in my track software. At any moment in time, I can look at the 2 stacks of chips and know where I am in my betting process and how close I am to either a positive or a negative exit, and I know what my next bet should be based on those stacks. So why this moment of wisdom today? Well, on the ship, I explained this briefly to Professor Porsche and Lady Mac, and sometimes I realize I am guilty of not understanding that easy and obvious to me is not easy and obvious to someone just experiencing all of this for the first time. One of the great values of teaching is seeing things through the student's eyes. So I've explained it. We're several days into the cruise. We've been hanging out at our private blackjack table every night. The good professor is doing just fine. I'm thinking he is getting the hang of it. Everything's fine. I'm paying a bit less attention to his play. And I'm getting beat up a bit. My game's a bit rough and rocky. And from time to time, he says, this just happened. What is my next bet? And I tell him, it's 1 unit, it's 2 units, it's whatever. And he asks after a particular hand, and I look over at his chips, and I have no idea what comes next. I have no idea where he's at in the process. Something is not right. Something is not computing. Normally I can look at chips and see what's going on instantly with people I've taught, but I look at his, and near his left hand is a stack of like 4 chips. And on his right hand is a stack of like 20 plus chips. That doesn't make any sense. 20 is too much for a play stack, and wins normally go on the right, not the left. And the left, how can you be down to it? I didn't compute, and I couldn't figure it out. And I had to say, I don't know. Something is very broken here. Something is very off track. We may have to take a break in a few minutes and go to the bar and sort this out. I'm sorry. I don't think I can fix it mid-game. And a few hands later, I hit my negative exit, and the cards were about to be shuffled. We were at the end of the shoe, and I decided to sit out the next part of the game and just coach. Just tell him what I thought would make sense. And I said, please make a stack of 10 chips. Put all the chips together, make a stack of 10. And he did, and he made 2 stacks of 5. And I said, trust me on this, it will be much easier if you do 2 stacks of 4, $100 each, we're playing with green chips, and top them both with a stack of 2. Mrs. TRG offered that she thinks it's easier to make 2 stacks of 4 and then put 2 chips in a stack in front of them. And so he did as we suggested, and as he won his first hand, he took his win and moved it over and made it his win stack. Okay, that's fine. That's great. Good enough. 1 chip in the win stack, 1 in the play circle. He lost and bet 2 chips from his play stack since he was using TRG4, win more, keep more. He won that hand and left 1 chip in the betting circle and put 3 chips in the win stack. And at that moment, Mrs. TRG and I both realized what was going on. And she said, oh, TRG, he's making the same mistake that I made at first. Show him how to clear all his chips and rebuild. Key idea there, clear all his chips and rebuild. And I instantly knew she was right. That is what had got us to a stack of 3 or 4 chips and a stack of 20. Not clearing and rebuilding. He had rebuilt his bet. He had not rebuilt his play stack and then built his win stack, and he had built his win stack incorrectly. I knew she was right. I've seen people struggle with this before. I had not taught it sufficiently the first time I'd explained it to him. Here's an important technique for learning to manage stacks correctly and efficiently, in my never so humble opinion. Beginners often pause when they're paid with their original wager and the win in the betting circle together. And they pause, and they think, and they figure out what the next bet should be, and then they move chips to various stacks. It's easy in that moment to get confused about what the next bet is, or confused about where the remaining chips should go. And in that process, often all the extra chips in their hand end up in the win stack, and the play stack has not been replenished properly. And it is easy in that moment to feel pressure and to want to hurry and to not want to hold up the game. So the way I like to teach this, the way I like to show that to get this right and get it right easily is don't do your thinking with the chips you bet and the chips you were paid in the circle. When you get your win, when the dealer puts them forward, collect all those chips. Put them with your play stack. Rebuild all of it from there. Rebuild your original stacks, your play stack in whatever pattern you normally use. And if there are extra chips, put just the extra chips on your win stack. Now make your next wager based on the wagering system you are using. If you don't have a full play stack, this is your moment to decide. Am I betting 1? Am I betting 2? Am I betting 3? What wagering system am I using, and what is the proper bet to be made? If you've moved extra chips over to your win stack, now you make the decision if I'm going to my progressive side or not, and how I build those wagers. By pulling everything back and restacking, you've created a pause in the game very naturally. With no chips in your circle, the dealer isn't going to deal until your bet is there. And by rebuilding, you give yourself that moment. You rebuild your original play stack, you adding to your win stack, and you will quickly recognize what your next bet should be. Casino wisdom number 60, have a win stack. It's short and simple, but its application is powerful and extremely useful when done correctly. If you're not 100% sure you followed all of that, I've done a video to accompany this particular segment and demonstrate the process. It's available by subscription on our Spotify channel. And if you need a link for that, just email me, trg@casinocombat.com, spell combat with a K, and I will send over a link for you to subscribe. A lot of good stuff that we're going to put out there. Going to try to put out supplemental materials, things for you to see, give you another way to learn this information, give you another view into things. Next, we will have a moment of concepts. Excelsior Brigade Lucky Drunk has invented and tested and researched some very interesting things that I'd like you all to give some thought to.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind.
Thing means nothing.
What? A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination.
I like Moment of Concept segments to ideally combine a casino wisdom and a core concept in a way that makes us think and ponder and expand what we know about gambling. Well, one of our casino wisdoms is number 86, have allies. It teaches us the value of building relationships that make us better gamblers, that give us better knowledge on the ground, or give us another way to think about how we handle wagers and wagering in the casino. In the core concepts, I teach that your wagering system needs to include progressive and regressive techniques, which is to say that after a win or a series of wins, you need to make larger wagers to take advantage of winning streaks. And after a loss or a series of losses, your wagers need to increase in an attempt to win a smaller number of hands than you lost and regain your original buy-in and work toward a profit. Well, Excelsior Brigade member Lucky Drunk is an amazing ally to have. And he has considered TRG3, the meta martingale, as a way to increase your wagers after a loss or series of losses by increasing your unit size and buy-in when you reach another table. He thought perhaps he had another way to approach that next buy-in, and he tested it. Here he is to tell you all about his ideas.
Hello, Casino Combat Squad. This is Lucky Drunk. Before I get into the idea, though, I want to share with you, I want to let you know that I'm going to be referencing TRG wagering strategies 1 through 4. So if you're not familiar with these strategies, you might want to hold off on this segment until you are familiar with those strategies. So I want to share an idea that I had been discussing in the virtual VIP lounge, and one that I had done some in-casino experimentation with as well. I will share the results of this experimentation and give some final thoughts. So here is the story about how I came up with the idea to get to the idea itself. I had been using the meta martingale as a means to determine my unit size while playing blackjack. I love how the meta martingale provides more consistent wins, but it does add the risk of bigger losses at the same time. I had also observed how the meta martingale is quite similar to the regressive portion of TRG wagering system number 1, the one and only. So I thought to myself, why not use TRG wagering strategy number 4, the regressive portion of it, as a means to determine the unit size in the same way we use the meta martingale. My reasoning is that maybe it could remove the risk of some of the biggest losses, i.e. the third tier of the meta martingale, at the cost of having it be a bit more of a grind to recover from losses. And while we're at it, let's use the progressive side of this wagering strategy as well, so that we can bring positive progression into the mix to determine the unit size. So that's it. That's the idea, is I'm using TRG wagering strategy number 4, win more, keep more, as a means of determining my unit size. So if I win 2 tables in a row, the third table will be bumped up half a unit. If I lose the first table, the second table will be a 2-unit buy-in. If I lose that, the third table will be a 1-unit buy-in, and so forth. And instead of using a day's pay for reference here, let's use unit size. And full disclosure, I used a small unit size, as this was something I was testing. But you can think of the unit size in relation to the unit size that you use in the casino as a frame of reference. So let's get into the results. I played a total of 20 days, 20 visits to the casino. 15 of those days were winning days, and 5 were losing days. I played a total of 72 tables. 36 of those tables were winning tables, 35 were losing tables, and 1 was a 0 exit. So very close to a 50-50 ratio as far as wins or losses. The monetary results, and this is not including comps, expenses, etc., I came out with a total of a win of 154.5 units for this experiment. Now, I understand that this is a very small sample size, and at the same time, I do feel that it gave me an idea of how this strategy could behave in the casino. It did I did have more consistent wins, similar to the meta martingale, and there were 3 losing days where I lost 3 tables in a row. So it did save me from that third tier loss. Overall, I am happy with the results. But here is the most important part here. I want to make it clear that I'm not saying this is a strategy that you all need to run out and try. Instead, I want to provide an example, a personal example, of how you can apply the core concepts and build a strategy for yourself that will work for you where you are at now. Other notes, I feel that the 154.5 unit win, most of it was probably due to the regressive portion of TRG wagering strategy number 4, but the progressive portion did provide some wins as well. And I also want to add, just to ramble a bit, that there's a lot of ideas like this floating around in the virtual VIP lounge. So I would definitely encourage you, if you are a gambling enthusiast like myself, I would encourage you to come join us. Figure out what TRG's home casino number 2 is, and come be part of the Brigade. I believe that is it for now. So I will leave you and wish you all positive variance. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you for listening. Yours truly, Lucky Drunk.
Okay, big thanks to Lucky Drunk for the thoughts, for the ideas, for taking the time to test it, and then taking the time to record that and bring all of us his results and his point of view. When I started all of this, I was, to my knowledge, one of one. And maybe that just points out how limited my knowledge was. But I didn't know anybody else who knew how to win. In fact, I didn't know very many people that I thought were seriously trying to win. And I didn't know anyone who thought like me. And I didn't know anyone who saw the casino the way I saw the casino. And I was tired, quite frankly, of being the smartest person in the room. And if you talk to me long enough, I'll say, well, this was a reason for doing the podcast, or that was a reason for doing the podcast. And those are all true. There were multiple reasons, and I found more as I went along. But one of them was finding people like me and not being the smartest guy in the room, and having other people understand my ideas and show me how to improve them. And I think that's exactly what we've just experienced right here. The idea of applying TRG4, win more, keep more, not only to the wagers and the buy-in at a table, but after a win or a loss to your calculation of your next buy-in, is a real bit of brilliance in my opinion. And the idea that we should apply progressive techniques to table buy-ins, not just to in response to individual hands, is something I'd never considered. Meta Martingale, TRG3, the Meta Martingale, never ever attempts to say, after a series of, it says, if you've lost, do this, and if you've lost more, do this, and then if you've lost, walk away. But it never addresses the idea that I've won, and I've won, and I've won, and I've won, so now my unit size should go up on the next wager. It never crossed my mind until Lucky Drunk came up with this and thought of it. I have not tested it myself yet. I have not played it out. I think his research is amazing. I haven't had a chance to really structure my bankroll around that and apply it and test it myself, but it just instinctively makes sense. It is a really clever way of looking at all of this. And it's well researched and it's well presented. And I think those are the qualities. I think those are the requirements. Original thoughts within the casino combat space, original ideas, those are good. Those are one requirement. Then the next requirement is that that material is tested and presented to the group. And having had all of that happen in this case, and much to my wonder and surprise, I am so amazed at all of this, but I have great pleasure. It is a great opportunity for me to award Lucky Drunk the third ever PhD in casino combat for this original research and his presentation of that research. It is very well done, sir. Very well done indeed. You join Questing Scholar and East Coast Emissary as the only people to hold a PhD in casino combat. Very well done. We are so lucky to have you as an ally. What's next? What was in the battle plan next? Oh, yep, we are going to do a travel segment. Cruising as a squad is the very definition of having allies. I learned so much from being around good gamblers for an entire week. Equine Ensign showed me a slot machine option on certain machines that lets you buy a bonus automatically. You're going to have a bonus feature activate. It's jumping right into what a lot of slot players are always looking for. And I figured out how to bet it using TRG4, win more, keep more. That's right, TRG4, win more, keep more, played on a slot machine. I was stunned when I sorted it out. One of those things that got in my brain and just kept spinning. I've done a video to demonstrate it to all of you. That video is posted on Spotify and available by subscription. That's the same subscription that gives you access to the video that is part of Tactical Results Analysis Creation Kit. If you want to use Track, the Creation Kit, to build your own tool for analyzing the casino combat that you do, the subscription is where that starts. Playing blackjack together at a private table was absolutely amazing. It was our game. We were able to control the pace and teach and talk. That whole process, me learning from Equine Ensign, Midnight Diver, teaching Lady Mac, all of that process, all of that information just getting exchanged all the time was absolutely amazing. Surrender was allowed on our game, in this casino. And as a group, we really explored that rather rare blackjack rule. Inner Circle member Dr. ECE is an expert on that, since Ocean Casino, where he plays a lot, uses that rule. He was a great help to all of us in sorting that all out. We also worked a lot as a group on the differences in basic strategy if the house does or does not hit on soft 17. And I'll share some of that conversation in a future episode, I'm sure. We also had a lot of conversations around playing a hard 16 versus a 10 or an ace if the hard 16 is a 2-card hand or a multi-card hand. Little nuances, little details, little fine tweaking of our individual games. It was really amazing to me to be able to walk up to the people running the casino and say, we'd like our private game open if that's possible. Amazing. Please open our private game, and it happens. But more amazing was how much we learned at that table when they opened it, and at the bar having a drink before and after, and at the table when we had dinner together in the dining room. All of those opportunities, we just learned so much from each other. And it extended beyond blackjack. Dr. ECE spent some time teaching me how to play Ultimate Texas Hold'em, a low house advantage game with a basic strategy that I'm just learning. Or one of my favorite Kruise moments. We got beat up as a couple playing blackjack one night. Took some losses. Time to be done. It was time to wrap up. It was time to call it a night. It was time to not get too far into the wins we'd already had. And Mr. TRG was going to play just one more slot machine, and I was going to grab just one more drink. And I noticed that the craps table was not very busy, which seemed unusual. Michael wasn't playing. Equine Ensign wasn't playing, but VCPD was playing, and it was early in the cruise, and we'd not had much time to hang out together, so I took my drink and I went to the craps table. And VCPD was working on his own version of Play All Day, and he started teaching it to me. The table had a $10 minimum, so I bought in for $100 and started doing a 6 and an 8 for $30 each, a total of $60, and then dropping to a table minimum of $12 each. So I had a profit if I hit either one once. I figured I'd stop playing if I didn't make a profit on any one shooter. Now remember, it was late. We were supposed to be done. I wasn't looking to really get into the craps game. The table was mostly dead. I just wanted to hang out with VCPD for a minute and learn his strategy variations to play all day. I made some money. Mrs. TRG stopped over. She won money on the slot machine. She was a little bit sad because she had won too quickly. She won quick and had to take her profit and leave. It's good that she wanted the win more than she wanted the action, but she would have enjoyed a few more spins. I explained what I was doing and gave her half my chips. She had the 6 and I had the 8. We would leave if we didn't make money on any shooter. An hour later, more drinks had arrived multiple times, Equine Ensign had joined the game, the table was full, and finally we didn't make any money on the shooter. We had almost tripled my original buy-in. We had filled up the table late night when I thought we were done and my wife thought we were done. It is great to have allies. It is great to cruise as a group. I had never been on an MSC cruise before. The Meraviglia was beautiful. The main promenade had a ceiling that was a light show, much like the Fremont Street experience in Las Vegas. Something different every time you walked through that part of the ship. The public spaces on the ship never felt crowded. I've enjoyed all my Royal Caribbean cruises, but it's tough not to compare and contrast the two brands. I would say the food on MSC, at least on this ship, was better. The casino and the casino bar were much better than on any Royal ship I've been on. The shows and entertainment were fine, but not as good as what Royal does. Not as polished. We found a favorite bar to close down each night. No piano player, no toasted marshmallow old fashioned, but a wait staff that knew to expect us each night. even in an empty bar that they were in the process of closing. They had a couple of extra waters on ice for us. They overpoured my Waterford Reserve each evening. I would certainly cruise on MSC again anytime, and if I was asked to choose between the same itinerary on the two cruise lines, that would be a tough call to make. I'm not sure which I would prefer. Let's do some results. The great thing about getting my own personal track built is that it's easy to do these results again. As my old tool gradually failed, doing this part of our podcast took a lot more work. And it's true that it's less important now that I give you results. In my never so humble opinion, it's less important. We have lots of people playing these techniques. We have lots of people sharing their success. We have lots of people building off TRG2 and TRG4 and making their own modifications. It's less important that over time that I prove to you that I can do what I told you all I could do, because now many of you can do it too. But it's good to be able to give you results. It's good to have my tools back online. So let's look at the results for this cruise in some detail. And as we always have in the past, we will do these results in a day's pay increments. If you are not familiar, a day's pay is the number I want to make when I walk into my local casino if I have not had enough IT work for the day and I need to keep my finances on track. It is an arbitrary number. It is used to make the point that everybody plays differently. Everybody plays at a different level. Everybody has different options and table limits available to them. There are places in the United States where you can play at $5 a hand and get a fair game. And there are places in this country where even for $50 a hand, you can't get a fair game of blackjack. I don't want people going, oh, he made so much, or oh, that's all he made. That's not the point. The point is, whatever you make a day, you know what that is. And you know what making or losing that amount of money means to you in your life. So we do everything in days pay. I break that all down. I divide it. So if I tell you that we won, which I am going to right now, we won $4.10 on table games on the cruise. That means we made the equivalent on a 7-night cruise of 4 days pay, just a little more than 4 days pay playing table games. We lost 44 cents, which is to say roughly half a day's pay playing slots. We received $3.66 in free slot play. We won $3.27 playing slots. That gave us a profit or loss, in this case, a profit of $6.74, just short of 7 days pay, $6.74 as a profit or loss from gambling on this 7-night cruise. Not bad, huh? Basically hit our day's pay number every day on the cruise when you average it out. That is some good gambling. That is some skillful gambling. That also is helped, let's be honest, that's helped by the fact that Mrs. TRG won the blackjack tournament. That's a skill test, but she won the blackjack tournament and she received a nice amount of free slot play and had nice wins based off of that free slot money that she was given. And what is she doing there? She is doing the TRG slot strategy number 1, which we gave away free to the whole world. If you're new and you want my slot strategies, go to casinocombat.com, spell combat with a K. Go to the Fred section. Fred is our bot that takes care of handing out our information. Fred is the AI that introduces things at the beginning of some of our segments. Nice of him to do that. He was pretty demanding if you followed all the side quests. But download Casino Combat Slot Tactics. You will find in that ebook all the information you need to know to play slots the way we play slots and make money every month, almost every month, playing slots. Expenses, and this one's a little bit fuzzy around the edges. I don't normally track fuel and I don't normally track tolls because in my daily life, in the majority of the gambling I'm doing, I have short drives from places I was already going to be during the day to casinos. I'm in many cases almost driving right by. I have never taken the time to track the specific amount of money that is fuel that I spent. So I don't do that, and I don't do tolls as part of the calculations that go into my track software that I keep track of. And in this case, we did have tolls and fuel and things of that nature. And at the same time, some of those were shared with other people that were in the car with us. I also don't think I correctly captured the tips that I should have. So what I'm saying here in a very long, rambling way is we recorded expenses of 48 cents, roughly half a day's pay. I think that number probably is closer to a full day's pay, so it's not perfect. My record keeping on some of that on the back end. We had some show tickets that we bought for an extra show on the ship. I'm not sure I captured that, so we're going to call it we spent half a day's pay. I'm telling you, that's probably just a slight bit bigger, so keep that in mind. But a profit and loss after expenses of $6.26. 6 days pay, a little more than 6 days pay after expenses. For comps, we received $8.33 in comps. We did not receive any match bets. We did not receive any free bets. I do have some gifts recorded here, half a day's pay in gifts. I believe that was actually the day before we left. I've got this as a cruise wrap up, but I did receive some gifts from local casinos and from the horse track locally on the way out the door. So we've got that number here in our results. Nice to have all of that. Total from all of that is $18.92, almost 19 days pay in value into our lives from this cruise. Very, very nice. Very, very good results. Really, really happy about that. Since I can, and while we're here, just to come dive back into it the way we have in the past, blackjack tables played, 47. 27 of those were winning tables. This is Mrs. TRG and I combined, by the way. So 47 tables played, 27 winning tables, 20 losing tables. Solid blackjack win. Almost 4 days pay as the blackjack win. We had 2 craps tables played. One was a winning table. I told you about that. One was a losing table. We played some craps again a bit later, and that did not go as well. We lost $1. It's rare for me to use real money, but that is real money. That is not a day's pay. That is literally real number. In our craps play, 1 winning table, 1 losing table, and we lost $1 real dollar, not a dollar in days pay terms. We played 15 slot machines. Of those slot machines, 10 were winning, 5 were losing. That is money played cash. That is not free slot play. That is slot play done with TRG slot strategy El Numero Dos. 10 winning machines, 5 losing machines, but a loss, a bit less, call it 40 cents, bit less than half a day's pay, lost playing slot machines. And once again, that generates us tier points, that generates us reward points, that generates all the things that go into them offering us another cruise. We made money on the cruise, losing a little money on slots and getting that higher tier score is more than fine. It was a wonderful, wonderful cruise. I could go on, but hopefully between this and episode 173, you've gotten a sense of how special, how wonderful our first Blackjack Cruise was. If not, I've got one more bit of content for you that I recorded on the ship, and I'll share that with you in the virtual VIP lounge.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Welcome to the most must-listen-to segment in casino lifestyle podcasting, the Virtual VIP Lounge. Our lounge is open, and we have the best virtual everything, virtually all the time. Best virtual food and drink served in any virtual VIP lounge, anywhere on the interwebs. Guaranteed or your money back.
We do have the best VIP lounge anywhere on the interwebs. It is absolutely true. If you can, press pause, pour something, make a plate. Hanging out in VIP lounges is becoming less and less common. Casinos are putting them out and making them available less often. When I get that opportunity, when I get to sit around and share stories with old friends and new friends, it really is truly one of the best parts of being in a casino. And we try to recreate that feeling here, that moment, that sense of sitting and having a drink together and sharing some stories. And in this case, I want to try to bring in a little audio. We had a party in something called the Sky Lounge as a welcome party, and I recorded some audio, acknowledged some people that were there. We get a little sound from the casino team there, and so I'm going to share that with you now. Oh, and I should tell you that there were some secrets revealed during the event, and I have instructed T-Rex to keep those unique to those at the event. We're not going to share those secrets necessarily with the whole world, and so he's going to have some creativity there, but and he'll fill this in, I'm sure. But when you hear this, don't worry, that doesn't mean Miss Pac-Man died or whatever he picks. That just means there's a little bit of sound there that we wanted to bleep out. Not bad language, just some private stuff that we're going to keep for those people that were in the room.
I'm just going to explain you very quick. If you reach 1,500 points by playing, you will get a 10% discount on your next booking without a fee. And if you reach at least 5,000 points, you will get a free cruise for 5 days in intake cabin, and then you can upgrade anytime. Now, it doesn't end there. The more points you earn, the higher stateroom that you could get, or the longer cruise that you could have. The maximum point is 45,000, and you will get the yacht club for 10 days that you can use worldwide. Yes. So, Voyagers Club. To those who's asking for the Voyagers Club, it has nothing to do with the casino. Whatever you spend in the casino, it will not give you points to give you status, to give you higher status in Voyagers Club. And using a cruise card. To those who haven't linked the credit card to your cruise card, you need to link it because the cash is not working on board. But only in the casino you can use your cash if you have extra. But the thing is, we don't have ATM, so better keep your cash assured. Now you need to link your credit card or debit card to your cruise card. Then you can charge your room to play in the casino. The PIN code, to those who's playing in the slot machine, the PIN code that you need to enter is the month of your birthday and the last 2 digits of your birth year. Month and the last 2 digits of your birth year. And very important, you need to put the cruise card first before any credit. Otherwise, you will find the message of card not found and you will not earn points. So card first before any credit. Now, we also have activation points to those who didn't activate the cruise card first. We have the activation point at the casino in front of the dice table. Blackjack Tournament! You're here for the Blackjack Tournament! We have the Blackjack Tournament that we prepared for you. It's for free. The first place, so the Blackjack Tournament is tomorrow. First qualifying round followed by the final round, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Now the first place will get $900. All the top seven will get something. Second place will get 600, third will get 500, fourth 400, fifth 300, sixth 200, and seventh 100. So let's play for 900. We also have buy-in slots tournament. Buy-in slots tournament, $25 to enter. You can also join anytime. And double points promotion in all slot machines. Tomorrow is the first session, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So do not forget, we have 3 sessions of double points. Tomorrow, next is on Wednesday in Ocean Cay, and then the last is on the last day. So take advantage of those double points. And that's it for now. If you have any questions, any further questions, you can ask any casino staff on the floor. We are very friendly to help you. Now we're gonna have a raffle. We're gonna have a raffle, and I'm gonna give the microphone to one of the casino hosts, Angelica.
Come on, Angelica.
No pressure.
Take me back.
All right.
One for cash.
Just a cabin, yeah.
Oh, one for cash.
I think I'm okay. Are you ready? We're giving away our prizes for you. The first one.
Man, there's not many tickets in there. Come on, we gotta win.
Oh, we have a prize. We have 3 prizes for you. The first one, we have a $500 worth of free play. And then the next one is a spa. 50 minutes spa massage. And then the third one, teppanyaki for free. Alright? Let's the first one. The first giving away to you guys. Okay,
Come on, son. Morning. Name is Sean.
hold your coupons. Our first winner, holding ticket with number 0, 0, 3, 3, 1,
Yeah!
0.
So close! So close!
Hey, come over here.
1-2, morning. 1-0, 1-2.
Congratulations, our first winner.
I thought I had it. Ton, that tournament's free to get in? Yes. Blackjack?
What's your name, sir?
Really? There's zero reason not to. Yeah. It's a very generous price. Yeah.
Finger prize, just one. Let me check first.
Morning.
3,
That blackjack
3, 1, 0.
tournament's free. Taza, there's no reason to get in. Not get in.
Just one envelope. Okay, open it. Let's see what you got. All right, congratulations. You have won $500.
You're a winner already. You're a winner.
All right, hold your tickets. We still have 2 prizes.
You won last year. You won.
Our next winner is holding the coupon number 0, 0, 3. Yes. 3.
Yes.
1.
Yes.
1.
Oh my God. So
0,
close.
3, 3, 1, 1. 3, 1.
I was making a mess with the guys.
Let me see your coupon. Let's see your coupon.
Check that ticket.
0, 0, 3, 3, 1, 1 is matching. Grab your prize. All right, let's see what you got.
Massage.
All right, we still have one more. Last one. Hold your coupons and. All right.
Teriyaki dinner.
Last one. The holding coupon number 0.
Yes.
0.
Yes.
3.
Yes.
3.
Yes.
0.
Oh.
8. 3308. It's a matching. What's your name, sir? Anthony. Congratulations. See what you got. Yes, we have a 15 minutes switch spot. Yes, welcome aboard. See you at the casino. Yeah, we're waiting for you later, around 5 p.m. You're open the casino at 5 p.m. So, see you later, guys. Mr. Michael, you want to say something?
All right, do I need the mic or can everybody hear me?
What?
Obviously, we all want to thank Michael. This is my first cruise. Yeah. Well done. And this is my first time doing this, and my job is easy compared to the job that he has to do with all the information I put in. So thank you very much. And I truly appreciate it. And then the other thing I wanted to do is there are some celebrities here. And I'm going to make a little news because there are some celebrities here that don't know they're celebrities. Or they're celebrities in the sense that they appeared in the podcast at some point. And some of the people here don't know. And in fact, one of the people here that doesn't know is actually a podcast mystery that many people have tried to guess the answer to and failed. So, just very briefly, if you just hold a hand up, we have with us Inner Circle member, East Coast emissary, fourth to the ring, the first person to ever earn a PhD in casino combat, his lovely wife, Atlantic City Empress. We have Inner Circle member, Virginia Casino player Doug, defender of the Commonwealth, ace to the ring. We have Inner Circle member, 30-day gambler, the artist formerly known as Equine Ensign, ninth in the race. We have Excelsior Brigade member Midnight Diver with us. And now they start to get a little interesting. Because I suspect that does not know he's appeared in the podcast as Kingfish. They may or may not know that he has appeared in the podcast as Raymundo. My friend is Professor Porsche. His wife is Lady Mac. And the thing that no one knows and that won't it'll end up being bleeped out in the podcast. Because unbeknownst to Speed, Racer X is really his brother who left after a fight with Pop is Racer X. So thank you, everyone. Some mysteries have been solved. Have a great time. If you need something, ask. We just want to try to help. It should be a great cruise.
Please tip your waitresses, tip your bartenders, tip your dealers. If you have a host, tip your host, but don't tip away your wins. TRG has spoken. Everything you heard here is true from a certain point of view. In 10 years, we may find out he was wrong about all of this. It's time for leaving, and I hope you understand. TRG was born a ramblin' man. Love it, hate it, it don't matter. Please share with your family and friends. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for listening. The best part of the podcast is next. The Casino Combat Blues. Thank you again to Fish Audio for providing my glorious voice. Special thank you to my original actress, author, Julia Tverdovskaya.
For Atlantic City Empress, Casino Combat's ace. There are profits in the casino tonight, I can feel it in my bones. I had a premonition, you should probably play alone. I know the house has an advantage, but that's part of the thrill. If we follow the core concepts, the chips begin to spill. So baby, here's your player's card, put your bankroll in your hand. Use just some of that money now, do it just the way we planned. Just follow the core concepts and you could win several grand. Well, it's good if it goes down like that, don't have to play to lose. It's gambling as a business, the Casino Combat Blues. Casino Combat Blues. The dealers and the pit bosses, the security and the law, the winning and the losing and the tricks nobody saw. No matter if it's blackjack, roulette or craps, you gotta carry defense cause you always carry cash. There's lots of shady characters, lots of dirty deals. Everybody has an alias cause that's more fun we feel. It's the lure of winning money, it's got a very strong appeal. Perhaps you'd understand it better standing in my shoes. It's the ultimate enticement, it's the Casino Combat Blues. Casino Combat Blues. Whoa. You don't see it in the headlines, you don't hear it every day. No one's trying to stop us and we don't need to go away. We can gamble in Atlantic City, we can gamble in LA, we can gamble out in Vegas. I mean, we're here to stay. Gambling's propping up the budgets of folks like me and you. You ask any casino manager, he'll say there's nothing he can do. From the pockets of the casino, right down to me and you. Me and you.
All right. Well, I hope we got a nice mix there. I hope that was a nice combination of new material based on the Kruise, admittedly, but new material from Lucky Drunk, some reflections and results from the Kruise, a little bit of Kruise content. Hopefully we got a nice mix of everything. In terms of the segment after the episode, these have turned out to be really fun for me to do. I think they've been really fun for you too. I thought I'd take you just real quickly inside my head, an interesting moment, a bit of a scary moment, ultimately a bit of a fun moment. But the first night on the cruise, our table wasn't open. And I really wasn't sure what was going on with that. It was something I was going to need to talk to Michael about. There'd been some confusion around the amounts. And we're playing at the regular blackjack table, and we're playing with this guy who's playing bigger, and he's got a big personality, and he's like, yeah, there's somebody here I'm trying to find. I got to find this guy. I read online that there's going to be a private game, and I really want to be in that private game, and I got to try to find that guy because I really want to be in that. And just from his personality, just from how he was playing, I thought he would be a good addition to our table. Sweet Lou did end up being a good addition to our table. But I said, well, it's not a problem. I'm way out over my skis here, everybody. I'm just making assumptions about what I can and can't do. I'm like, here's my chip. It's my game. You're in the game. Don't worry about it. Going to find out tomorrow when we're going to start opening that table up. And, just you're in because I said you're in. It's my table. So the next day we find out from Michael that they're going to open the table starting that day by request. I just need to go tell somebody on the casino team when we want the table open, and they'll rotate dealers and they'll open the table up for us. And so we go to dinner and we go to a show. And I asked to have the table open, and they do, and it starts to fill up, and we're having a great time. And I had very literally just said to Mrs. TRG, as we've been playing for a while, we've been through multiple shoes, it's getting a bit later, we're having a great time. And I said to Mrs. TRG, I'm surprised we haven't seen that guy from last night yet. I was sure we would see him. I was sure this was something he would want to do. And at about this time, speak the devil's name and he appears, but about this time, he shows up and we say hi and welcome. And he says, I brought my chip. I'm in the game, right? And I said, you are. I said, you're in the game. You're in the game. And the guy functioning as the pit boss pulls up the list and looks at his card and says, you're not on the list. And I said, well, that's okay. I'm putting him on the list. And now that moment of doubt creeps into my brain, right? Even through the couple of cocktails, that little bit of doubt creeps into my brain. And I'm like, can I actually do this? I've never done this before. Can I just add people to the list? And so now I'm using my watch to text Michael and tell Michael, hey, I may have screwed up here. I told people I could put him on the list. And the guy functioning as the pit boss goes, just a minute. And he goes and talks to somebody who goes and talks to somebody else. And one of the casino executives I'd met the night before the welcome party says, Mr. TRG, is that okay with you? And I said, absolutely, I want to add him to the list. And he goes, it's fine then. Whatever he wants goes. It's his table. He can run it his way. And it's like, oh, cool. This is my table. So I've now gone from the low of lows to the high of highs, right? I've gone from, did I just make a fool out of myself, to full confirmation that this is my table. And I get a text from Michael saying, I'll come up if I need to. It's absolutely your game. It's your cruise. You get to do what you want. And so I texted Michael and said, we're all good. Staff took care of everything. It's great. No problems up here. And it's like, oh, that is so cool. This is my game. What I say goes. So just a couple hands later, Mrs. TRG gets the cut card. And I said, you heard him. He said, it's my game. What I say goes. We're going to make that card wild. I thought I'd stretch a little bit. I'd see just exactly how far those capabilities went. And as you might expect, we found out that it might be my table and it might be my game. And I might be able to do whatever I want to do, but I can't do that. Much like the Meatloaf song. I could do anything at the table I wanted, but that was not one of the things I could do. We were not able to make that card wild. Thanks for a great experience, everybody. If you were there, I'm so glad you were there. It was a great time. It was a wonderful feeling. There's a little extra content, a little extra story. If you weren't with us and you know to check for the back of the episode and you found this little segment, I really hope you come with us next time. It was a blast.